Hey everybody, what's going on? Brendan Miller here, back with another video. Every year I like to scour drained lakes for lost fishing lures. Now usually the lakes drain around the middle of November, but recently I was just driving by one of the local lakes here and I saw that they already drained it. Now keep in mind, it's like maybe the second week of October, so this is a lot earlier than they normally drain it. Plus, they've drained this lake farther than I've ever seen it before. And I couldn't resist coming out here and looking for fishing lures. So that's what we're gonna do today. Again, I wasn't planning on making this video just yet. I was gonna wait another month or so, but here we are. I'm excited. All right, just spotted my first lure of the afternoon. It's a very good one. Look at that. That, my friends, that's a Berkeley Chapo, I think. That's a great bait. Just caught up here in these brambles. There's a bit of a picnic area right there, so people cast right along here. Caught right up in there. Boom, that is a fantastic find. Just spotted something right here. See what we got. Oh yeah. Lipless crankbait. Spotted something right here. As you can see, a bit of skirt poking up through. Most likely this is gonna be a spinnerbait. Yep. Let's try and get all the skirt out. Unfortunately, the hook is gone. Something here. Looks like a crankbait of some type. Let's see. Been in the water for a bit, but might still be salvageable. It looks like a little rapella, actually. Yeah. Cool, just need some new hooks. Chilling right there. All right, guys, just spotted a really cool looking find up here. Oh yeah, look at that. That's nice. That's very nice. Sweet little swim bait. All right, there's a spillway right here, and I'm just walking right along here. And I just looked over here on the concrete, and there's like a pile of lures here. Like a nice crankbait, little chatterbait, and a jig. Just kind of stacked here. What in the world? Jackpot. My guess is somebody else already came through here, found this stuff, didn't want it, so just chucked it up here for somebody else to take, so I will take this. So there's this line of green gunk right here, and I was just looking along it, and suddenly I saw something that caught my eye. Where'd it go? I just saw it in here. Oh, right here. Right there. Look at that. Lipless crankbait, needs cleaned up, obviously needs new hooks, but cool little find. So right over there is a picnic area where a lot of people like to fish. So they'll cast over in this direction, and sometimes they get stuff caught up in the trees over here. I just spotted something down here in the leaves. It looks like a good little find. Look at that. Nice little spinnerbait in really good condition. Somebody, again, was probably casting over here, got caught up in these trees, broke their line, and the bait fell right on the floor. Good find. Just spotted a bait up here in the tree. Looks like a square bill crankbait of some type. There we go. Nice little one, in great shape. Just spotted something up in this tree. Looks like a nice jerkbait of some kind. We're gonna grab it. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful rapella. I think it's called a scatterbait or something like that. So this is a public fishing dock right here that they close for the winter. Obviously, when the water's up, this dock extends way out to here. That's why I wanted to check around this area. And sure enough, I found something. I'm guessing somebody just dropped this little lipless crankbait. Kind of a cool little design on it. So, cool little find. Spotted something up here in this tree. Looks like a jerkbait, stick bait of some kind. Bit of a crustier bait here. Still pretty cool. That is one old Rapala floating minnow, but I'll take it out of here. Got something right down here. Looks like a chatterbait. Still in decent condition. All right, so I've been here less than a minute and I already found something. Check this out. Nice little lipless crankbait. All right, so I just spotted something up here in this tree. It looks like a really nice crankbait right here. I'm gonna grab it with my pole. There we go. Nice. Just found this bait right here. First, a bait of the day. It's a little spinner in decent condition. All right, I think I just spotted my best find of the day so far. Look at that. Nice crankbait right there. It's a balsa crankbait, so it's got a crack in it, but I might be able to fix it. Sweet. All right, I got a signal right here, and I pulled up this. Just a bunch of weights and rigging, but I kept on digging a little bit, and I just spotted something that looks really promising. Oh yeah, look at that. Ho ho ho. Now we're talking. Nice. Lipless crankbait. Spotted something up here in this tree. It looks like a soft plastic of some kind, but it looks really interesting. Let's see. Oh yeah. Look at that. That's a big old soft plastic. Looks like something they probably throw from Musky. It's pre-rigged. It's kind of cool. I'm gonna keep it. Just spotted a really good bait right here in this tree. Oh. There we go. Dropped it in the water. Oh yeah. Oh, beautiful find. Spotted something up here in this tree. Looks like a frog of some kind. Oh yeah. Little frog. Booyah pad crusher. Nice. Just spotted probably the best find of the year so far. Look at this. Just hanging out right there. I think it's a whopper plopper. Let me grab it here. Look at that. Oh, that's a great find. Wow. That's a nice bait right there. Just hanging out in a tree. I'm sure somebody was ticked off when they lost that. All right, so I just pulled that whopper plopper out of the tree, and I looked up, and there's another whopper plopper right above it. It's right up there. It definitely looks like a whopper plopper, or a whopper plopper style bait, I should say. Got it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. Boom, another one out of the same tree. Oh yeah. It's a little bluegill swim bait, look at that. Now it needs cleaned up, but these are actually not cheap. Found this nice little spinnerbait right here. It's also tangled up with a Ned rig, and there's a bunch of line wrapped around the hook, but I should be able to clean that off. All right, just spotted something up in the tree right here. Looks like a topwater frog right here. So I can grab it. There we go. That was easy. Nice little frog. Just spotted something right here. It's a little spinner. All right, so I just spotted something up there in the tree. It looks like a swim bait. Looks pretty nice too. I should be able to reach it with this. I got it hooked. Let's see if I can pull it. We still got a little bit of water, so I don't want to drop it in the water like that. That is a nice swim bait right there. Whoo-wee. All right, so I was just looking along this edge, and I spotted something right here that I think is going to be a good find. I don't know if you can see that right there. Looks like a limpless crankbait. Looks like a red-eye shad of some sort. All right, just spotted something right up in there. You can see it. All right, I was able to grab it here. Let's take a look. What kind of bait is it? Check it out. Pretty cool. A little bit of an older style bait, but still sick. All right, we got something up here in this tree. Looks like a jig or a spinner bait. See if I can grab the... Try and grab it here. There we go. Sweet. That is a great find right there. Just spotted something right here, laying on top. Nice little rattle trap. Alright, spotted something up here in the tree. Looks like two baits actually. Looks like a popper and then a frog right next to each other. So I'm gonna try and grab the popper first. See if I can grab it. There we go. Okay, got the popper. Nice little popper right there. Now I think there's still a frog up there somewhere. It's a little harder to grab it because there's so many hooks. Alright, finally got it down. Nice little frog right there. Alright, so I'm just checking this picnic area right here. The water's not down too far, but I thought I'd poke around down here. I just spotted something up in the tree that's very interesting. Let's take a look. It's not a fishing lure, but it is fishing related. It is a rod and reel somebody chucked into the tree. Now, it's not an expensive one, but it is still a rod and reel. It's a cool little fishing reel. I'm probably not going to use it, but I could definitely give it to somebody. This is my first year checking this spot. I actually fish here quite a bit, but I haven't done much lure hunting. This is just a little creek right here, as you can see. And it just so happens that the water is a little bit low this year. But the main thing this place has going for it is it gets a lot of fishing pressure. And that is very evident by that right there. Look at that. There's a bait just chilling right there. So I'm going to try and grab it. Look at that. Nice little Yo Zero crankbait. Great find. So I've been searching all of these sunken trees, haven't found anything, and it's only until I walk over here where there's no sunken trees that I find a bait just sitting on the top of the sand. Little swim bait right there. Alright, I got this branch right in front of me and it looks like kind of a jackpot. We got one bait right there. We got a spinnerbait right there. Alright, just pulled a spinnerbait out of the tree, so we got that one. Now we just have to get that last crankbait. Alright, I'm going to try and grab this last crankbait right here. I think this thing does float, so even if I do drop it, I should be able to retrieve it. Let's see. I just want to hook that treble hook. Okay. Alright, I got it. I'm just going to pull. Yep, there we go. Look at that. Sweet. That's a sweet bait right there. Nice. Alright, so this is a quick overview of all of the lures that I found on these last couple of lure hunts. Starting over here, pulled out a little swim bait, kind of cool. Found a red-eye shad, needs new hooks. Found this guy, pretty cool little bait, little lipless crankbait. Found a little rattle trap right here, another rattle trap. This is a balsa crankbait. It's got a split in the side, but I think I can reseal it and reuse it. Found this guy, just a crusty, cheap, lipless crankbait. Old Wigglewort. Couple spinners, got a Meps there, and then some other brands. This is kind of a cheap off-brand right there. Found two frogs, either just a cheap Amazon brand of frog, but found two of those. Found one chatterbait this time, which is surprising. Usually I find a lot of chatterbaits, but one chatterbait and one jig. Found a nice spinnerbait as well, intact. Found this spinnerbait right here, a little Booyah spinnerbait. Found this is just like a chatterbait blade and a hook on a swim bait. Found this little guy, this is kind of a cool little spinnerbait right there, kind of neat. Over here, found some more stuff. Found this is just stick bait of some kind. I couldn't figure out what brand this was, I'm not sure. Found an old Rapala floating minnow. Found a lipless crankbait again. Cotton cordell. I find a ton of these every year, they're very popular. Found this guy, this is just a cheap Amazon swim bait. Cheap deep diving crankbait right there. This is a Bass Pro Shops kind of cheap popper. And this is an Ozark Trail lipless crankbait. I find a bunch of these as well, they're very popular. And then I found a little Berkley ultralight minnow, needs new hooks obviously, needs a little more cleaning. I found this thing, which is very interesting. This is a huge kind of pre-rigged bait right here. I believe this is something you'd throw from musky or big bass. Pretty cool, kind of random, pretty sweet though. Found a Booyah pad crusher, one of my favorite topwater frogs. I actually throw these quite a bit, so it's cool to find that. Found this guy right here. This is a Bass Pro Shops kind of whopper plopper style bait. This one was sweet, really good condition, fairly hefty too. Pretty cool bait right there. Found a Berkeley Chopo right here, good condition. Another Berkeley Chopo right there, decent condition. Cotton Cordell, little crankbait right there. Pretty much brand new out of the package. Found a Rapala Husky Jerk, really nice one right there. Found this one, I don't know what brand this is, there's the logo. Maybe somebody could tell me in the comments, but really nice jointed bluegill, sweet bait. Then over here, these are some of the best finds. Found this guy right here, this is a Yo Zero or Yo Zoro stick bait, pretty sweet. Found a Bomber jointed stick bait right there, pretty cool. Found this guy right here, this is a sweet bait, I've actually thrown these before. This is a Berkeley, I don't even know what these are called, but it's a Berkeley kind of jointed bait right there. Pretty cool, soft plastic, but really good. Rapala Scatter Wrap, pretty sweet. Found this beautiful crankbait right here as well. I don't know what brand this is, but it's really nice. Really good condition. And then probably my best find of the whole trip is this bait right here. This is like a $16 jointed bluegill swim bait. Very cool bait. That's going straight in the tackle box. Really nice. Super cool. The total retail value for everything on the table is around $300, which is awesome. Now, obviously, some stuff's in worse condition than others, but if you were going to go out and buy all these baits new, you'd spend at least $300. Super cool start to the lure hunting season. There's a lot more to come. I'm working on new videos already in this series, so stay tuned. Stay hooked. I'll see you later.